Yes.
Just maybe if we're willing to talk about kind of how to be with like difficult, painful emotions or sensations. I think that's
Yes.
we're all interested in, and how to.
Yes.
This thing I've had. It doesn't freak me out, but like I'll get like first time I did a meditation retreat long, years ago, I got like a choking thing in my throat sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting to like not pushing away, kind of like this thing is presence, it's a rising presence, a singing awareness, not pushing away, but there's also the art of like how, because I don't want to explode in a choking fit, which I've done before, which is no big deal.
Mm-hmm.
You could apply it to any painful, difficult sensation or emotion, like to that yoga or that art of like how to stay as awareness, not to how much energy or attention you give the painful, difficult emotion versus like how much you're staying home to not get kind of like caught, but also not to be pushing it away. To that whole
Yes. Yes.
Yes. You could apply it to any emotion.
Yes.
It's just the physical sensation is kind of easy. There's something going on with that, but I don't need to understand.
Yeah. Yeah. First of all, if there is a physical sensation that is of the quality you just described, like a choking sensation, I would not pursue this for the time being. This particular. Now. Especially if the choking sensation, it depends on its intensity, you may want to sort of take a step away from that particular practice for the time being and come back to it at a different time. Again, this is something that you have to determine because it depends on your tolerance to that. Now, in terms of your question about how to deal with negative emotions and even physical sensations, how to manage them, how much to get close to them, and how far to sort of be standing from them. If I understood your question, I would say there isn't one answer to this question. So in every case, you have to make a determination. So generically speaking, all negative emotions refer to an impression of a person plus some past stories that we have somehow that have accumulated with us, that are part of our impression of what we are. So there is an impression of what I am, and this impression and belief of what I am is also sort of felt. I feel that I am this and that person, and all of that is sort of accumulated over time. It's stored in the body mind. Now, to the extent that it is possible, depending on your on where you're at, let's say, at one end of the spectrum, you could simply remain as a neutral observer, as a witness of an event that is basically, let's say, a cosmic event that is occurring in this space, that is the sensations occurring, let's say, in this body-mind space. and you are simply observing an event. When you are observing an event from a neutral position, usually there isn't a follow. It doesn't go to the next step and then the next step. It doesn't become a bigger story. It's sort of perceived impersonally, and it's perceived as being a neutral event. Completely neutral event at whatever is happening in the body and whatever is happening at the thought level is just perceived from a place of complete neutrality. Now, this would be really beautiful when there is a situation where something triggers you, somebody breaks their promise to you or speaks to you in a certain way, or a certain situation arises where somebody is acting negatively towards you, and you are able to observe it from a just completely neutral position. It's really great because it just sort of dissolves in your presence. Now, what may be helpful to come to that way of experiencing a certain, life event is to, first of all, realize that, that person that is transgressing you, you've done the same to others 1,000 times over. Okay, that basically there's not much of a difference between you and them. It just so happens that in this particular situation, you are not them. It's somebody else that's transgressing you. But in a different situation, you were the one transgressing somebody else. Okay, that may be a consideration. The other thing that may be helpful for you to also contemplate is that we act as a result of our thinking. For example, we may think, "Oh, gee, I said something and you didn't smile at what I was saying. You frowned at what I'm saying, and the thought is, gee, why are you frowning?" That the actions that we take are a result of thoughts that arise to us. Thought may arise to go to Hawaii. Before we know it, we're online trying to see, how and when we can go to Hawaii. And the thoughts that come to us, we don't choose them. See, we don't choose our thoughts. So if thought arises to us, we perceive the thought. Because if we were the choosers of our thoughts, we would obviously all choose right on thoughts, and we would never be perceiving any negative thoughts about ourselves or others because it makes us feel bad. So that person or the situation that arose where there was maybe some transgression upon you, it's helpful to understand that they did not choose their thoughts. And so their thoughts were downloaded to them from the cosmic realm. Now, why would the cosmic realm download a thought in that, "Oh, gee, I don't like you," and I'm going to tell you, "Hey, I don't like you"? Why? There has to be some order in this disorder. And I would propose that these events that are arising in your space, that are triggering you, are meant for you. They're meant for you. They're not meant to hurt you, because God loves its children. You know that metaphor. Sometimes I speak metaphorically. God doesn't hurt itself or herself. So it's not to hurt you.
I was more thinking also like difficult emotion. Let's say emotion like a feeling of shame comes up.
Yes.
And you can have the intellectual understanding that this is conditioned. You can go through all the intellectual things to kind of diffuse it. Like, hey, this doesn't help. It's not benefiting me. It doesn't benefit other beings.
What is a feeling of shame?
It's a feeling in the body and some kind of.
At some level,
thoughts.
It's just some freaking bodily sensation.
Yeah.
Really, with a story. What's the story? Thoughts.
And there's a pull. There can be a pull to it too, though, to keep revving up the cycle, the chain.
Yes.
You can see the pull. You can do that.
Yes, absolutely.
Like I told one friend, he's like, you just have to let it die out.
Yeah,
It basically just takes time.
But it'll arise again. It will arise again. It will die out today.
Eventually you won't spin it as much. Like that first day, if it's something that really triggers you, let's say it triggers it's related to your job, something really cool level, and you're spinning, it's like, okay, well, you might notice in an hour, I've thought about this probably 50 times, 100 times,
Yes.
200 times, and then maybe, and there's nothing really, so with my buddy of mine about this long, been interested in these things for a long time, and it's just like, his things, like, you just kind of have to let it die. Like, it just takes time. There's nothing you can really actively do. It's interesting, like, how to work with, you can see the pull to feed that cycle again. And you know it's not good for you. You do it sometimes, you don't. It's like an addictive thing.
Right.
How to rest,
Yes. Well, you see, at the core of this emotion, there is a me. There is an identification. There is somebody that should not be shamed. You can shame me anytime you want. But if I am somebody that is not to be shamed, you better not shame me. Because I'm going to be feeling really lousy and God knows where it goes. But
this isn't coming from anyone outside. This is internal.
I don't mean this isn't from or with myself. Absolutely. Same. The other is nothing but myself. Or with myself. There is a space that should not be shamed. What is this space? What is it that should not be shamed? What is it? There has to be something, and I would say that this something that should not be shamed needs to be looked at, needs to be found. Try to find that, let's say, person, or that field, okay, that should not be shamed. Because once you find that field that should not be shamed, then you can have a conversation with it. You can say, okay, well, let's figure out what's what. What's the story here? What is going on here? Let's figure this out so we can be done once and for all with the shame business. And then we'll deal with anger. Then we'll deal with jealousy. Then we'll deal with envy, etc. But let's not just deal with shame. Let's find that space, that quality that should not be shamed. Now.
So another way to say it, you're saying you kind of look at the resistance to feeling the shame.
Before, what is it that feels the shame?
It's just a feeling. I mean, it's just a feeling.
But what is it that feels the shame? What is it that is shamed? Something has to be shamed to feel the shame.
Okay, forget it. I see like the me thought, the small me thought, or a small me belief. There's the identification. If that's, if I'm looking at it in the moment, I'm trying to imagine what I'm not feeling.
Yes, I understand.
Let's say you have a strong feeling of shame or something. It kind of colors the whole awareness, the whole field.
Yes. What is it? What is it that is being shamed? And of course, that should not be shamed. I mean, that in parentheses. I mean,
there's some. It's the idea of a small me that this could lead to bad things for me on some level. Well, I think there's a lot of that.
We're buying it. We're good. We're in the same conversation. So let's find that me, because obviously I want to. We have to take care of that me. We don't want.
You can't find that. You can't find that. Well, it's just a thought or belief with a ton of old, wound up conditioning.
Well, if in fact you do not find a me, then what are you talking about? What is it that's being shamed? If it's me that's being shamed, and we cannot find a me, if indeed we cannot find a me, because you have to look. You see, I mean, you have to look and find it for yourself, because we're really talking about ending this whole hoax. Because, of course, it can run itself and burn itself. Well, I'm talking about ending the hoax. Just ending it. Okay? So, there is something that should not be shamed, and that is feeling the shame and is being shamed. So what is this something? It's me. So we look for this me. Let's look everywhere for this me. In fact, I do not find the me, then what am I talking about?
That's tied into also like the shame. Also, maybe there's the fear of this can negatively impact my livelihood, my job. I have people who rely on me. You can see rationally all that whole world. It's connected to that whole world.
I got you.
We could talk about
sure.
millions of years of evolution.
Absolutely, no. The me. The ladies, the people who knit. They make a ball and then they put all the knitting things in them. The me has all. I follow you. There's anger. What's going to happen? The fear. But so all these what may happen to me and. All of that, it has to happen to me. It's about me. Something bad may happen to me. So, and we don't want anything bad to happen to me. I'm with you on that. I don't want anything bad to happen to me. So I say, okay, well, let's really make this me secure.
Others as well on that level.
I'm sorry.
If something bad happens to me that's connected to bad things happening to others.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So let's find this me and let's make sure, because that's really our intention, our honest to goodness intention. Make sure that we fix it just right, so that nothing happens to me and nothing bad happens to others. Because then we have it covered. Otherwise, all the emotions are going to continue spinning, like your friend said. They're going to spin, and then this is going to spin, and that's going to spin.
Well, he was saying also, as you notice, it dies down and changes, because everything arises, dies, and changes. Right? So that's
okay. So, but
yeah,
who wants a bad dream?
I agree. In terms of applying the manipulation to it versus
it's not peace and happiness. There's so much trouble. It's like, oh God, it's
uproot it once and for all. I understand.
Yeah, because otherwise we're like in the roller coaster ride. Down, up and down.
That's how it is.
So we go. Let's come to this me, because it's me. So let me look for that me, find that me, and have a serious approach. Like in mechanics, come to the car, opens the engine, comes to the engine, and does a diagnostics of the engine to tune it, just right. Let's find this me so we can tune it just right, so that this me and others are happy, have peace. So you have to find this me. If you find that me, where is it? Because if indeed it's true, then it has to be here now. Do you agree? I mean, you didn't leave it at home. It's me. It's not. So where is the me right now? What is it right now?
You mean the small me we're talking about before?
Whatever me. I don't care if it's small or big. any size me. One size fits all.
He thought that he identified thought. Yeah, I understand.
A thought. Wait. Okay. If a thought, if the me is a thought, then that thought is gone. I mean, you're not the thought.
I have to conjure a memory just to even have this discussion, because it's not present now. Yeah,
we're talking about that. Okay, the me has to be here. It has to be here in some form or the other. If it's a thought, then the me is a thought. It's something that's arising. Like you have 1 million thoughts a day. Who the heck cares? I mean, you could think about crocodiles eating elephants. It don't matter what thoughts. The thoughts arise. They're really insignificant. So what is the me is, it has to be now, here, now. So I look for it. So what is it? Because your question wants to come to the core of this issue, and not just dance around it. Because we can dance around it. There is therapy and therapy books and all sorts of things, but it has to pertain to me. Me and shame, me and don't want to hurt others, etc. And all of that it pertains, is a core axis, which is the me. And if there is a me, which I'm not disputing, then where is it right now? And if there isn't, if you really don't find it, you just find just this perception, presence of it. Then you need to remember that. Remember that. Because if the me is real, if it's not real, okay, we have no problem. Because blue men on the moon or pink flying elephants, okay, we're no problem. But if the me is real, then it has to be continuous. It cannot be discontinuous. It has, reality means it's continuous. It's real now, it's real now, it's real irrespective of time and space. And if you don't find it now, then I would say, okay, it's not real. If you look at what is real now, what you find real now, meaning it's always now, always ready, always available, it's consciousness. But the me thought or the me feeling, is discontinuous. If somebody insults me, oh, the me. If somebody says I'm very great and beautiful, ah, the me. But between somebody insulting me and somebody praising me, I'm just eating my mashed potatoes. I don't even, there isn't even a me. Most of the time, there isn't a me. The me arises like in peaks and valleys. Praise and happy and happy. But the key thing that I want to emphasize is it has to be real. Because we may be having an unhappy dream or a happy dream. Okay, it's fine. Who cares? It's okay. I love happy dreams. But we're talking about reality. It has to be real. If the me is real, then the shame is real. And hurting others is real, and so on and so forth. But there has to be a reality to the me, meaning it's got to be continuous and eternal. And when I look for it, but you have to do your own looking, just sharing when I look for the me, I don't find a me. I find consciousness. I find presence. I find beingness. I have to go to some story to find me. Oh, me, yes. Me, oh, Magdi, oh, my mother, my father, I have to go to some story. But it's too much headache to go to the story. I don't need to go to the story to just say hello, hey, how are you? I don't need to be in me it's so complicated. Then I have to defend me and improve me and adjust me and praise me and market me. Please. It's so freaking. At some point, we get exhausted with that whole charade. Really, it becomes exhausting. And then we start to enjoy just the ease of being, the peace, the bliss of being, of presence that's sort of inborn, just a well-being.